column count first. So alright, so let's say I want to do here. So I want to say name. So I wanted to do here first name. Now, as soon as I do this and I put this one here, as soon as I write this, what I can do, I can hit the tab button. You see the tab button?
Yeah.
It goes to the next cell. This is called a cell. So I put here, what should I put in here, logically?
Last name.
Good. Last name. So I click the tab button. Last 4 SSN. Correct? I tab it. What should I put next? DOB. I hit next. I put. Hey, what do you need? Shuman, come here. Address. Telephone. What else you need?
Last name, DOB
DOB नहीं. Good. The main
and
huh?
Social security.
ऐसे नहीं लग रहा.
I
Delete. So I want to delete this row. So what I do is, okay, so I come in here, I right click it on the F, on the column level. I F it and what I do? Delete. Delete. Trust me on this one. You're gonna use Excel a lot from now on. Okay? Address, telephone, email address, exactly. Email. Alright, so this name, does name say the whole thing, or you see there is something missing there?
Yes.
So what do? You see here?
Yeah.
As soon as I come in here,
There's the arrow coming.
you see that it says it looks like a cross,
Yes.
right? You double click it. It's gonna go up to
The last
exact size. You're gonna extend it, you come in here, hold the left mouse button, drag it. So same thing for here. Now as soon as you click it in here, it's gonna tell you what is the width here. You say the width is 10, right? So I wanna make this one, and it says 8.2. So let's make this one
10.
10. Now address, I need it
bigger.
Why do I need it bigger? Because the address is
It's
big.
big.
Now I don't need these rows. So what I'm gonna do, I highlight these 3. So how do? I hold it, drag my mouse, right click, never mind, delete, delete. Now I only have 1 row, right? I'm leaving it intentionally so that it looks a little better. What do I put in here? Student
Title.
info. Or I can put here, I can put another one here. Transfer tech. Now take a look something. Let's say, so student name should be middle of this thing, right? Because take a look at this. This is my whole column of this thing. Now the student name should be here in the middle.
Yes.
So how do I do that? This is how I do it. You highlight from this lane, this column, right? Now hold it left one, drag this all the way to here. And
Control.
no, marge and center. You see that? If I put marge and center, it comes in right in the middle. Now if I put the same thing for this, transfer tech, I can come in here,
Margin center.
margin center. And since this is highlighted, if you want to change anything, let's say transfer tech, you can double click it in here. If it is too much, then what you do is like click here and then come in, click here on the top where the says transfer tech. You can put a quotation mark right here and say, okay, you know what, I want to put a quotation mark right here. Now I want to make this bigger. To make it bigger, select the cell. You see here the A, right? I can make it smaller. I want to make it color here, or I want to make this one Bangladesh flag. Anything you want to do, you can do it. Now let's say this one, I want to make it a little bigger. This is 11. I want to make it 14. How big is this? This one is what? What is the size? 46. Font size is 46. We use font this, but I want to do different. I want to do Fortis. So I want to do F40. Here we go, 40. Now, maybe I can do this one. Transfer check. Or I can do this one. This looks better, doesn't it?
Yes.
Alright. So student info. Now I want to make these here. Oh my god, I made a mistake. I want to add a new column. How do I add a new column?
Would you like to give it?
Click it in here and you say
Insert.
insert. You see column came in? Now all of a sudden this one is not in the middle anymore because this line is missing, isn't it? So what do? You go like this and go march. You take the march off first. Now you redo it. Now it's going to be in between those.
Oh.
You got it? Now, same thing for this. I highlight the whole cell. Which one ever I want to include. Now I take it off first and then redo it. Now that one is gone. Now if I wanted to do this one here, I want to make this like that and make this white color. Student info. What am I missing in here? Number. Student number I'm missing. So it should be 1. First student, right? How I do here? If I do here, select. When I do this, that means I'm selecting which cell? B6. B6. You guys follow me? I'm going a little fast because this is not our class, but I'm showing you. So if I wanted to, you see that as soon as I select that, there is a small like a dot at the bottom. You hold that and there is a plus sign right away. You hold it, drag it down. It makes all one. That means it's actually copying it. However, if I wanted to delete all this, I select all those delete. But I go to the next cell. What do? Equal sign. Equal sign? Which cell is this one?
B6.
B6. So you write down B6. Okay? Plus 1. What it makes right now? 1 plus 1 is what?
2.
Oh, 1 plus 1, 2.
Right, you're not talking, it's selecting 6. B6 is the cell number. What's the value in B6?
Oh, 1,
2. Enter. What does it say? 2, right? Now this one, as soon as you copy this, right now, it's going to copy now B7 plus 1. B8 plus 1. It's going to keep going. So I want to go until 16. Let's say 18 students. Now first name starts with somebody. Fatima. F-A-T-E-M-A. Sorry. F-A-T-E-M-A. T-U-J is the last name?
No, without
Fatima too.
Oh, Fatima too. T-U-C. Achha, that's your first name.
J.
J. I'm sorry, not Z. J. And last name?
J-A-A-U-R.
J-O.
H-A-H-U-R-T.
Right? Okay. Your address?
920
920.
Hartiman.
Spell it.
H-E-R-K-I.
H-E-R.
K-I-R-M-E-R.
M-E-R.
M-E-R.
M-E-R. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
M-E-R.
Street.
I think maybe we should not put it.
Huh?
Oh, I'm saying maybe we should not share it.
If you're not skeptical, so I'm going to take that off.
No, I'm just giving a nice suggestion, you know.
Nobody's gonna stalk her.
No, it's nobody gonna take it. It's not.
It's all last address.
I'm definitely giving my wife. By all means, talk her.
Giving us like all the promotion.
Alright, I'll tell you what. Fatima, we're gonna do something different. Okay. Now here. Now you see this cell?
Yeah.
I can do all this cell right here. You see these cells? These cells, I want to make an amendment here. I want to make a restriction in here. So I highlighted all 18 rows. I right clicked it. And what does it say?
Format cells.
I click format cells. And it gave me some ideas. So general, number, currency. If I put number in here, you cannot put text. You understand that? So if I put here date,
Also number, right?
so I want to put what?
Text.
Text. Okay.
So we cannot change because it's. Oh,
You see, it says that.
yeah, it's some icon.
What does it say?
Numbers to
Numbers to
text.
text.
But it gives you a hint. Help on error.
Yeah.
So in other words, you are actually trying to make sure that every field has its own identity or characteristics.
Mhm.
So this one, all right. Next one, we go with the ladies first, right? All right. So this one.
Abhi's
Let me see if I can
address
remember this one.
Is that phone number? 347 489. It's the worst mistake you made in your life, Bobo.
I know the social security number. I know her bank account number. Don't you judge me, my friend. Notice something. As soon as that brings this one going, extended also, right? Because of the margin. All right. So this one came in. I'll fill this up, but I just wanted to show you this. I have everybody's information. Don't worry about it. I don't have the address. So this one, I will call you guys, and then I'll get the address. Okay. So you're comfortable with this?
Yeah.
All right. So for example, let's say I want to show you something else in sheet 2. Let's say here, I wanted to add 25. This one is 35. This one is, let's say, 130, 69. Then it's just random number. Let's say your gas money every week. What do you spend? Okay. 290, 99. Then let's say you put another $35.48 gas. Now you want to add this up all in here. What do you do?
Add
Some plus
sum
you.
Select.
Sum means what?
plus
Adding up,
Adding up.
total. So you can put this one in here, and you can
auto sum.
auto sum in here. So it gives you this.
Total.
Now as soon as you highlight there, what does it say? Equal
E6
sum of.
and E10.
So if you double click it, you see the things in here?
E6 to E10.
E6 to E10. Now take a look at something. If I put here 3025, look at the value here is 293. Is it changing?
No.
Is it changing?
No.
So if I put here, let's say $6.53, what should it be? It should become 300. If I add that up, and let's say put here 0, this week you didn't do anything. Now take a look.
Business.
Here, I can extend this up to here. And now, enter it, it becomes
300.
300. Excel is a very powerful thing. Excel is very powerful. You should all learn how to deal with Excel. You can put functions in here. Hey, Anjali, we're missing Shirin Babi, Tawfiq. We are missing Reza. We are missing Mitu.
Just one away.
Skalpana. Okay, Mitu is not coming either.
Sickle not there.
Ask a second. Okay. Good. So you understand this Excel now?
Yes.
At least you have the preliminary ideas.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things in here what you can do. Now you can close the whole thing and you can make this one look nice. So you can do is I can put this one white. Look at this, all this white. If I wanted to just make this one column and I say, you know what? I want to do these as, I want to border them so I can do all borders.
So other border will be invisible after you click in the left hand corner, I think.
No, I make them white. It's not
Oh,
invisible.
oh, okay.
I just made them white. Excuse me.
So if you click right, you can come back.
800. Alright, so if I wanted to do student info right here, right now, and make this 18 students, and I make this, take a look what happens. They got all borders. Now, what do I do, we should do first? Save it. How do I save it? How many different ways I can save it?
Alt F. Alt function. Alt F.
Control F.
Oh,
Control
Control
S.
Oh,
Control
okay.
S. If I press that,
5,
for the first time, it's gonna ask me, where do you wanna save it? What does that mean? That means that your
Where you what file?
destination.
Drive. What is it?
Destination. So your destination is, let's say, in my desktop, I'm saving it in transport tech and I'm saving it in miscellaneous. What should I name this? Give me a logical name.
Student info.
Good. Or student or transporting students. So however you want to do it. But you see this Excel book?
Mm-hmm.
This one you should know also. CSV, comma, delimited. In real life, you're going to have a lot of data that you have to import from your Excel sheet to your QTP to your other, like, for example, in your a lot of automation tools, you're going to first save the data in Excel and you're going to save it as CSV, comma, delimited. So when that comes in, you import it, each row they will understand that this row is separated, this row is separated, this row is separated. So remember that. But in here, what we are saying, saving it, Excel workbook. Sometimes you can save it in Excel 93 to 2003 workbook because some of the automation tools cannot retrieve from the newer Excel book. Okay. So I'm
So
saving
it
it.
is bound by CSV delimited, right?
Comma delimited, comma. So what happens, let's say, let me give you an example. So let's say I have to retrieve data. For example, remember we did, let's say I have here, I have a transport tech and everyone has a, by the way, Robin is a volunteer. So Robin, and let's say his password is 123. Then, oh by the way, I can use arrow also. So let's say this one is Zuma 123, and let's say I use Luna 124. Just for if I want to retrieve, how many columns are included in here? Two different columns.
Two different columns.
So when I import that, they cannot, wherever I'm importing it to, unless this is a CSV file, they cannot see the difference between Robin and 123. So each cell they're going to separate it by a comma. So in other words, that let's say I have a QTP and I'm reading Excel file, right? What they're going to do is QTP comes into the Excel, will not see the structure like this. They will see Robin, comma 123. So you will think Robin is one value, after comma is another value. So that's why you have to save it like that. Sure, I can go here
Save as.
and say save as, correct? And let's say I wanted to do this one as a test. Right here, save as type, you click it and it's going to give you a CSV, comma delimited.
So for our job purpose, it's better to
For
save.
us, it's right now you're going to save it as Excel book. But in a real life job, sometimes they need CSV file. Even your manager is going to say, you know what, save it as a CSV file. He will expect you to know this. Okay. Remember I told you about ping?
Mhm.
Remember? You go to the command prompt and you ping an IP address so to make sure the IP address is available. So if I wanted to see what's the email address in here. I'm sorry, email address. What is my IP address? So if I wanted to go to right now, I go to run, right?
Cancel it.
This one I don't need to do. So I'm not going to save it. You see the run here?
Mm-hmm.
So if I wanted to go here, what's going on with this one? Hello?
Yeah, now it's clear.
Let me start the recording.
Oh, I
Today, October 19, 7:30 p.m. Hey Taufik, how are you?
No, something happened at the store, so she has to stay.
Sorry to hear that. Okay, it says, you see this? Appendix 4 here. So if I wanted to look at this, your cursor doesn't work here. Your mouse doesn't work here. So how do you do? You right click this top portion. You see that? Where the name is. You right click it. It gives you a drop down options. One of the option is called edit. And if you, as soon as you put your cursor in there, you get another drop down options. Oh, that's not good.
So this is the beamer and Windows XP is in the C drive. So I already configured it with the beamer.
Sorry. So what do you do?
You
You
just
right
open it,
click
you will
it,
see that.
edit. From here, you go to
Mark.
আমি তো রাখছি কোয়েস্টেন
okay, what is it?
ওই দুইজন মিলে আমি আমি জানতাম আমি প্রথম বলছি কি ওয়ালটার আমার ভাড়া দিয়ে বুঝছো আগে থেকে লিখতে দিছিলাম কিছু একটা পরে আমি
You want to prove his point.
3 o'clock in the morning, you get scared, you know who to blame. Now, this one is, as soon as you go edit, you go to mark. Now you can mark it.
এগুলা শিখবো না ওগুলা শিখবো
As soon as you mark it, it highlights, right? You can click enter. That means it's copy paste. Take a look at this now. Control V. Didn't it copy?
Yeah, yes.
But you cannot do it through, okay, now, here, I go very end and say, in you see all this came in? That means this is connected. What if I say ping paste, and this one, let's say I put 134. What does it say? Unreachable.
Unreachable.
That means that IP address is available. But for this one, does it say that?
No. It's a card one.
It didn't.
No.
So that's why I guarantee your manager, your tech lead, or your QA manager, or your PM member is gonna say, hey, my IP address is not working. Can you ping, see if mine is available? And you'll be like, what do you mean by ping? You wanna play ping pong? No, that's not gonna happen. So ping is like, then you're gonna go to the CMD, which is the command prompt, and you're gonna write down ping, and they're gonna say which IP address. Then you're gonna say 10 or 192.168 or whatever the number is, he's gonna say you're gonna ping it. If that is not available, it's gonna say all these things. If it is available, it's gonna say unreachable. How do you exit this? Very simple.
EXIT.
Exit. Adios, amigos. Now, this one is this. Before I go to this, who missed the test last week? Fatima did, Sanju did, and Zuma did. Anybody else did? Everybody else took the test, right?
I'm still in vacation now.
Sure.
আমরা তো ভাবছিলাম পোস্ট করে পাঠাবো
Yeah, I know. You should have seen it there. I actually sent it to you, we didn't even see it.
No, I did. I copied.
Okay. I changed that quiz. Mridu, did you take the quiz? You took the quiz. Yeah. So I changed that quiz. Okay?
আবার করতে হবে
No, you don't have to. But I'm saying that I changed it in a sense that there are some words that I think you guys feel confused with. So I made it a little different. So get your quiz book out, whatever you have finished last time. And what are we gonna do? We did it until question 10.
Can I have one more print out? I didn't bring one. I just leave it.
Yeah, I'm gonna, I can print it out.
আচ্ছা আমি কন্টিনিউ করি
তোমারটা করি।
আমারটা বাসা থেকে আসছি খাতার মধ্যে খালি ছিল খাতা থেকে
ভাবি বইয়ে দিয়ে।
I have an extra copy if anyone needs.
Oh, let me
Here, take this one.
This one?
Yeah. Or you can take that one.
got it.
Okay, I'm gonna get her a new one. I already printed it. So what we did is we did the validation, but I changed it in here. Take a look, your B and C looks a little different right now.
ব্র্যাকেট
You know what? I'm gonna take this one back. All right, and I'm gonna go. What happened? No paper? All right. I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change this. Okay. So I changed the number 1.
So you don't like it, please?
Thank you. So number 1, I changed it to. You can put the lights, turn the lights off. Okay, perfect. Did you notice that your C is different now? So I want to make this one help to check that we build the right product. We put the product right. One is design based, one is. So which one should be the right answer because it's a validation?
Testing.
Testing one. Really? Which one should be right?
Should be C.
Verification is the design one. Validation is the testing one. So this one shouldn't be
Verification is first and validation is second.
right. This one should be. Which one it should be?
C.
Why should be C?
Helps to check we have built the right product. Helps to check that we have built the product right. Yeah. B is
Well, it's
verification.
actually, so forget about this part. This part I just put it in like, for whatever test part is. Which one? B or C?
B.
No. No, it's C.
C.
Should
I
be
think
C.
it's C.
It's
I
C.
think it's C.
That's
Yeah.
design based.
No.
No, it's the testing
I mean
based.
testing based.
Testing based. Forget about that testing. Forget about this part right now. Now, what is the difference? Let's say that both are right product. Right? This is a little confusing. Verification and validation. Which one comes first?
Verification.
Okay. So how do you remember verification comes first? One is V, one is V. Which one is VR or let's say VD? Right? Even though in alphabets, which one comes first? D first. But here, actually the one at the bottom comes first. Try to remember that way. Like not the D, but the V comes first. Verification comes first. This one is the right product. This one is the right product too, even though for our argument's sake we say product right. Right? Right product. But the reason for it is this one is when you have a design, you want to see if there is a first name in there. If there is a field there for first name. You're not putting anything yet. But you want to make sure the design is correct. However the customer wanted it. No. Verification is the design. Verification. You're watching the design first. So you're saying the first name here, last name here, login button is here. Right? Username, password, let's say login button in here. So that was the design, right? That's how they designed it. How do you log in? You have a username, you have a password, you have a login. You don't putting any number, you're not putting anything in there. You're watching the design is right. That's your
Verification.
for validation, you're gonna put here Robin 1, 2, 3, click here and see if that works. So you're actually testing it. What that is?
Validation.
Validation. So one is design purpose, one is
testing process.
okay. One is actually you are saying if that meets the requirements, another one you are saying actually it works or not. So one is the if you're building the right product according to the customer, and this one is if the product is right. That means if it is working right. Make sense?
Yes.
So which one it should be?
C.
C. Do you know how to do this coloring?
Yeah.
How do you do this? You come in here, you check this, and then here
Choose
you
color.
put this testing. And this one is
Design.
design based. All right. Now test planning. I changed it to the second one. Determining the test strategy. Who does test strategy? When you do a multiple choice, try to take the things off that doesn't. You know that's the wrong answer. So determining the exit criteria. Okay, that may be it. I'm not confused about that, so I'm not going to touch it. Reviewing the test basis as a requirement, architecture, design, and interface. I know for sure that's not tester's job, because who does requirements and architecture and design? Business analyst does requirements, architecture is designed by?
BA.
No, design. System architect. System architect does it. And who does requirements? BA. So you know that's for sure. Test planning in which of the major tasks is not a test planning job. It has nothing to do with testing, right? Now, determining the test strategy, maybe that's right. Now, determining the scope. All about test planning is what? Roles and responsibilities. Remember, we said who's going to test what to test, what not to test, when to test. So it's all about what to test, how to test, risk, identify the object of testing. So that one is the right answer. Anybody confused about that? You need this. You guys have your other questions? It's a little different. In a large system, what are we going to take off first? Test cases written by whose test engineer? That should be executed. Everybody, not everybody writes good test cases, but there can be a test case. So you cannot just say that if it is not good test case, I'm not going to follow it. We went through this. Who didn't understand that? Zuma, you weren't there. You're the only one. You weren't Fatima, I'm going to ask. Okay. So he's saying in a large system, which test should be done? Only few tests should be run. In your testing life, remember that. You have to run everything. You have to make sure every functionality works. So the first one
should be B
is definitely off.
Yeah, B.
Second one is only good test cases should be executed. No, you should execute all the test cases. It doesn't matter if it is a good or bad. It's nothing to do with that. Test cases written by good test engineers should be executed. Now, there are some people who probably doesn't write good English or doesn't write very specific test cases, but still their test cases. You should run that too. So the good answer is testing should be on the basis of risk. It has nothing to do with how you wrote it, what to write, and which one is good, which one is bad. Number 4.
C, regression testing.
So this one says repeated testing. What is the regression testing? Repeated testing or retesting. So it can be answer A or C. How do I know that if it is answer C, not A? Because there is a clue here. It says after modification. Which one? After modification, you still do regression risk. You do the retesting. But it says related and unrelated. Both. When do you do the unrelated one?
Because
Just
they
make
have
sure
to
you
See,
the
other part also working on
intentionally if
didn't affect the
if the programmer has damaged other part of
By
the
intention.
application, who did not understand that? Please tell me. Everybody okay with this?
Yeah.
Fatima, you okay with this? Okay. So this is the regression testing. If I wouldn't put this line in here, it could have been either retest or regression testing. Professor or whoever, interviewer couldn't say that you're wrong. The good thing is that you should say regression testing first of all. Okay? Because that's the most common phrase. Next one. Which one of these represents the type of test conducted by who?
programmer.
Who does what? Only one test programmer does that we know we discussed, which was the white box testing. Which one is that? Unit testing. But does it say unit testing in here? No. So who does alpha testing? Okay, let's say, first let's take these things off. Delta testing, there is no such a thing. Developmental testing, there is no such a thing. So there is a difference between alpha and beta. We know the beta testing is actually in user side and user do it. So the developer does it or no? It doesn't. So I know that 3 are wrong. I don't even know if it is right or wrong. I'm going to still say it is right. Because I know that all those 3 are wrong. But in general, alpha testing is done 2 different ways. First, developers test it. When they finish it, they give it to the QA. And QA test it, QA finishing it, they send it to the production. Okay? a project can be considered to have been failed if let's take the things off. It does not meet the business requirements. Maybe if overrun significantly on estimated delivery date. That's wrong because overrun significantly. That means if it went beyond your release date. That's the way you promise the client, I'm gonna give you the product on November 1st. It becomes December 1st, you didn't go. You should have told him or told your team the second day of November 1st, November 2nd, you should go and tell them, listen, we are already exceeded our deadline. We are failing it. So you don't have to go significantly another days. No, you should know from the beginning that it's not right. Maybe you extended it. So C has nothing to do with that. It went significantly over budget. You don't know, you should know that before you even start the project. And then if it changes, in the middle you should know more, like how the project is gonna go. You don't have to wait at the end what the budget, the exact budget is. So these two, number one, business, their chances are A and B are the right answer. But at the end of the day, if the user doesn't like it, that's when your project fails. Business requirements is what?
Customer satisfaction.
As well as functional and non-functional. That means your security, your other stuff, so all those things involved in there, right? But your project, you are running it when you are working the dev team and everything. You are actually doing it for who? For the end user. That's your ultimate priority. Crocodile, remember? So main purpose is at the end of the day, customer satisfaction. Everything, business, everything is correct. You have everything, but the customers cannot use it. And you went through exactly what the requirement says. Is it still a valid application? No, because the customer doesn't like it. They said, I don't even know how to use it. It's too complicated. Then you are failed. So the user's requirements is the most important thing. User satisfaction is the most important thing. Number 7. It says, beginning stages of the SDLC, talking with end users, gathering information, document systems, and proposing solutions. Who does it? Easy, right? That shouldn't be that complicated. Developer doesn't do anything with the gathering information. Network engineer only does networking part. Project managers actually supervises the whole thing. He pulls people in different directions. He doesn't go personally do it. Okay, the first step in the system development life cycle is
C.
Initiation and opportunity identification. Requirement analysis is number 4. Design is number 5. Development document number 6. So,
This is the first one.
that's the first one. When developer starts to acquire, this is Tawfiq, I changed it a little bit. Take a look, okay? Instead of reached, I put already. So, when developer starts to acquire equipment or software, the stage of the SDLC has already been finished. Because now it came into development, correct? Which one finished? Which is number 6? Which is number 6 is design, development. So what number 5? Design. So which one has already finished? Design must have been done. Otherwise you wouldn't go to the number 6, would you?
No.
So which one has already finished?
Design finished.
Design. You got that? You remember what are the phases of the SDLC? Which one is the first one?
Initiation.
What is the second one? System concept and development. What is the third one? Planning. What is the fourth one? Requirement analysis. What is the fifth one?
Design.
What is the sixth one?
Development.
Development.
Development documentation. What is the seventh one? Testing or implementation. What is the eighth one? Production. Huh?
Number 8.
Implementation.
Implementation. Sorry, implementation is actually testing is number 7, right? And 7. No, 7 is number. Which one is number 7? What is number 7 say?
Testing.
Testing. Number 8 is implementation. Number 9 is maintenance, and number 10 is disposition. So maintenance is actually what? Basically, you already implemented the product. Now, if you need anything changes or there is something wrong, you are actually helping them out. It's a help desk. And disposition what? No more this testing. No more this application. So remember those phases, guys. By the way, I think I am the only one who did, I thought I was the only one who did SDLC for 4 weeks in a row. I have a friend who works in a place, he just told me yesterday, they did it for 2.5 months.
He must have done student.
They did it for 8 months.
We
Their
are-
classes over 8 months, now I'm into the market today.
We are smarter than them.
No, they're definitely smarter.
Thank you.
It's a plural, by the way, it's not a single, so you all can thank me. It's not you, him, it's you, all of you. Manage, number 11, manage the system. Dash, manage the system development. Assign staffs, manage the budget, reporting, ensure the deadlines are met. Who does it?
Manager.
Project manager. Who didn't understand that?
Turn off করে দিন
সুবর্ণ,
I think we skipped 10.
নাইট্রোস নেই।
আমার কোনো নাই
নিয়াজ বলিকা।
10 you should know. 10 is the one that we're actually doing, the organized process. It automatically says systematic process, systematic, strategic process, a strategy. What is that? Development information known as, followed by develop steps that need to be followed to develop an information or application system. Information system or application is known as system development life cycle.
SDLC
Design and implement database. Who does that? Database structure. DBA.
DBA, yeah.
Database administrator or
DBA, yeah.
DBA.
It just says it, that database.
Database. That's why I bolded. Okay. Number 13.
Feasibility
The-
assessment.
This determines whether the project should go forward.
Feasibility assessment, ROI.
আল্লাহ জুমা ভাই ছিল না ভাগ্যিস।
না? No, এই যে বাবু ভাই বলে না crocodile, it's same. Corporate world এর customer, client, client.
Exactly. Feasibility. What does feasibility mean?
Feasibility means to see if it, like you said, you
It's
know,
possible.
someone wants
Does
to
it
buy.
make sense? Does it make sense?
If you cannot just give me a product to go into more.
Synonyms.
Yeah.
It says what? Possibility. Probability. Likelihood. Is it actually, you know, is it worth for me to do it? If I say, give me a you know, like an application that I can sell my online clothing or something, but your store sells only, let's say, $1,000 per day. So that means how much you sell a month?
30,000.
30,000. Let's say you're online, you sell for another 1,000. That makes it another 30,000. What if your application, somebody says, I'm going to make such a good one for you, it's going to be worldwide, fantastic, and all those, and it's going to cost you $100,000. Would you do it?
No.
No, it doesn't make sense right now. Because if your business extends, then maybe in the later time right now. But if somebody says, okay, can you do it? I'll do it for 5,000. Then it's a better chance of doing it. It's a feasibility. Wake up, Festus. Now, somebody give Festus a little coffee, please.
Instead of that,
We have
Very
lots.
good.
ঠান্ডা কফি।
cold coffee.
Number 14. Robin, read it.
Actual programming of software code is done during the dash steps in SDLC.
Number 6 phase. Who does it?
Developer.
Developer. Why does it do it?
After
finishing
design.
Design, now you're gonna
Develop.
code it,
Code.
or you're gonna program it. And which one is that? Development and
And
documents.
documentation.
Right? Is it straightforward or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Number
Festus,
15.
read number 15.
D.
Oh, dash is a process of translating a task into a series of commands that a computer will use to perform that task.
Programming is what? A process of translating a task into a series of commands. That means it's gonna say like this: valid user should or be able to log in to the, or put username, able to put username in the username field. And they will have a design document like this. Programmer is going to write a code that's going to do exactly this. They're going to design these things and somebody can write a username in there. So what is that called? Because it's a task that they are doing, and then they made it, they transfer it to a, writing some code, they transfer it to a real application or commands. That's your programming. You guys got it?
Yeah.
16B.
How's it? Debugging is what? What does debugging means?
Fine.
What is bug?
Error.
And debug, let's say you say frost, defrost. You know, everybody tried? So when your windshield becomes foggy, what do?
Turn on the heat.
You defrost it.
Defrost.
Or defog it, whatever. So what does it mean? Reverse it. So when you have the error, you try to reverse it, you debugging it, that means you are actually correcting your error. Finding and correcting errors in the program code. Debug. Very, very common word in testing fields. Remember that. Debugging. Number 17. Adding new features typically performed during that phase. Which phase? Maintenance. Now, somebody explain me why.
Because it's like a feedback customer they
Exactly. Because in implementation, you are actually putting the system in customer's field. They haven't used it yet. During the maintenance, that's when they're going to use it and they're going to say, oh, I have a problem with that. Their manager is going to say, listen, your application has this problem, fix it. And you're going to fix it. Or customer says, oh, you forgot that I don't have any login pattern. What am I supposed to do? Where's my forget pattern? They're going to give you feedback and you're going to do it. So, until you get feedbacks from the user, add new features, not done until the end users give you the feedback. So that happens when? During the maintenance time.
Hey, Babu, let's say in an interview, they ask me exactly the same questions, right?
Correct.
Well, when you think,
Ask me the question.
Yeah, adding new feature is typically performed during, and by mistake I say, no, well, there is no certain answer. It could be in any of the phase, but mostly
You can definitely say that.
development or implement. It depends on the client.
Okay.
I can basically argue about it, right?
You can argue about it, but you should make a valid point to him.
Yeah. That's
First of all,
as long as I can back up
you
my
made a
answer.
very good point that during requirements, right? Requirements, who does that?
BA.
Business analyst.
What does he do? You go to the end user, you go to the owner, you go to the managers, even employees, and ask what? Gather information. You know how many times he go and change these things? Back and forth a lot. Depends on how complex the application is. But he, based on his user stories and requirements, design architect, what he does? He writes a design. He does it, he goes back and tries it. But in waterfall, you have to finish this, then you go in here, right? In a scrum, what happens? Product owner is there, right?
Yes.
Doesn't he come back and say like, no, I want it like this. I need agile scrum. Listen, so I'm trying to give you an example. In waterfall, all these things happens. All of a sudden, do you have an interaction with the end user here?
No.
You're asking them what they want because you don't know how they designed it.
Mm-hmm.
But in agile scrum, in the first sprint finishes, what it does, if it is a shippable product, it goes to the end user. And end user gives you a feedback, and at that time, you still haven't developed the whole application. But this already implemented, isn't it?
The questions is typically, that's why.
I understand that, but typically it is implemented. Until it is implemented, end user will never give you feedback.
I'm just saying,
because there are no.
typically, like Joe
So-
said, you can do it
No,
in
what,
any phases.
what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say is, let's say I know I'm wrong, but I can still argue, but I can say, if you say it's maintenance, it's fine, but it could be in.
I tell you what the interviewer did once to me. I give the right answer, he still says I'm wrong.
Yeah, and then you said, yeah, if you say that, that's.
I couldn't argue with him.
Yeah.
But I was like trying to be arguing more or something. I'm sorry, maybe there is a naming convention that we are mistaking in here. But I think this, like I try to be nice to him. At one point I got fed up. She was right next to me. I was keep saying the right answer, and he's saying no, it's not right.
Indiana?
No, it was a white American guy.
Oh.
And I was frustrated. I gave him 3 different answers. Everything is wrong. Whatever I say is wrong. So you cannot argue. But you know what? Chances are, most cases, when you go to the face-to-face, your appearance, your approach will tell. Even the guy thinks you're wrong, you'll probably think maybe he's right. There are a lot of times you can actually convince people by your body language and by the way you say it with the confidence. You're like, no, I did it like that. You know, on my previous job I did it like that. I'm sorry, you know, that's what I've been doing for the last 2 years. And they'll be like, okay, maybe we're wrong. And he's not going to argue about it, he's not going to question it. But whenever you do it, back it up with the logic.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but in this case, we are doing it. We know that until the end user give you a feedback, you wouldn't know what to change. But there are a lot of times there is a thing called
Change.
That's what you do. You have to, if you see something in the application and you say, wait a second, I don't see that in the requirements of the design documents. That means what? It's something extra came in. That's when you're gonna tell your manager or write an email and say like, listen, there's something I don't see in here. Or maybe vice versa, there's something not in the requirements but it's not in there. You can go like, you know, say like, okay, you didn't make it, so that's about. But if you think something that should be added, for example, in one of the page, let's say there's no X button in here to close it, right? You should say like, you know what, I think you should put an extra X button in there. That's a change request. You have to email them. Okay. So that's a modification, but who does that? That's the tester. But most of the modification or changing comes in actually from user's point of view. This is of somebody who's a good tester, who goes outside the box, a gorilla. But most cases, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the test case. Okay, you know, this one actually works. All good. You're not going to go extra. But in case customer sees it, they don't see your test cases, they're going to just go to the application and try to work on the application. When you first open the Facebook, did somebody give you an instruction? You will keep doing things. It was user friendly, it got popular, everybody loved it. If it wasn't user friendly, you'd be like, hell with it. But they made it over the years with all the customers' feedbacks and all those things. They change it every time. It's still in the maintenance level, but it implemented first. Now, analyzing the system, current system is performed during the watch phase, implementation. So what does analyzing mean? Like how this is performing. How is the network? Is the database working correctly? So let's see these synonyms. What does it say? Analyze. And I'm going to do this one is investigate, evaluate. So study. So when you are implementing it, what are you doing? You are actually, you get the application ready. You did your alpha testing. Now you are going to give the, let's say, beta testing, and then it goes to the production. You implement it in client's server. And somebody came in, log in, network, everything is working or not. You have to first test it. So analyzing it first. You're not trying to change anything in there. You are saying if your application is working correctly in that environment. Which environment is that? Client's environment. You have tested it over the time in developer's environment, you tested it in your QA environment, then later on you did it in the production environment, but you never tested it in that client's one. But when you do that, right after you implement it, after you implement it, you analyze this, is everything working or not. Control, if I want to change it to previous stage, what do I do?
Control Z.
Control Z. So this one is, which one is that? You did?
We was about 18.
18.
Yeah, now it's 19.
Many teams use working models called what?
Prototype.
Prototype. What is a prototype?
Duplicate.
Model. Something primitive, something in the beginning, something you can work on, show something. Now, it's not diagrams, this is models. It's not, a model is not called model, it's like prototype. It's not an object. Okay, what is an object? What is an object?
Something that you can touch.
Right, something you can touch. Something that has a shape.
Visible.
Something visible. Something has a, very important,
Use.
A name. An object in this page, this one is an object, this is an object, this is an object, this is an object, this is an object. All these are different objects. How do you identify them? By their unique functionality. Right? Everyone. If I wanted to object this one probably has a say tag name prepared, a text name prepared. Does it have any other prepared? If there was one, same page, identical prepared, but if I write it in here, I can see it by X and Y coordinates. This X coordinates and this X coordinate is going to be the same? No. Let's say they are next to each other and computer still cannot identify them, then you can have a thing called index. The first one should be 0, one across gonna be 1, come back in here, so it goes like a Z. Index go like Z. Right to left, top to bottom. Left to right, top to bottom, sorry. Okay, so this one, if there is another prepared here, it should be number 3, 2, 3. So you can say object prepared 0. You know what that is? An array. Is that called an array? Array is a set of values. I can say array 5. How many values are in there?
5.
6. Array starts from
0.
0. We're going to talk about that later. Still a little high. But you know what? Eventually we'll all come to these, and you're going to do that in VB scripting or QTP for programming. Okay. So this one is prototype. Objects we know is not, models we know, diagrams is like more like a flow. The diagram is like this. We're gonna say this connected to this, then is connected to, let's say, oxycon. You know, like that. Alright, regression should be performed when? Every week?
No, as often as possible.
As often as possible. That makes sense?
Hey, I could be that wrong after the software has changed. Should be, right? That changes the whole thing, right? If the question were to regression test must be performed, then the answer would be B.
Should be.
No, I'm saying if the question were regression testing must be performed.
That it should be number D2.
Yeah.
It should be, you know, like one man, project manager says it. Project manager is not gonna say just like go and test it. He's gonna have a valid reason. What is the reason? It's a new release. What is the reason? Something fixed. So in regression testing, they also call it this.
Could be possible answer, right?
Fixed verification. Something got fixed, you verify it. What kind of, how many different types of regression there are? Which one is? Which one comes first? Fix. And second one is? First one is what? Retesting. Second one is actual regression testing. Right? So when does it do it? As often as possible. But Zuma mentioned something. Regression testing must be performed. It should be at that time probably you're gonna say number 2 and C. They probably had one of them.
It's the
Probably
possible
would have
answers. Yeah.
after software has changed, modified, deleted, added, whatever. You know, it's a new change, new modification, new change, something, new release. Then you should do a regression testing. Usually, you know how often they do it? Every night.
Yeah.
Usually they have a scheduling.
That's
They
why
do
we
it,
use that.
So bring the quality.
bring the quality. But the thing is, that's why probably when the automation scripting is fully done, so they don't have to do it. They just task it. They said, okay, every night from 12 o'clock until 4 o'clock in the morning, we are gonna congratulations, you made it. So from 10 o'clock until 6 o'clock, 12 until 4 o'clock, we are gonna do the regression testing. Okay, verification involves in which of the following?
B.
So I want to change that. I want to confuse you. That's why I wrote like this. So remember right product and product right? One is design, another one is testing. So verification, which one comes first?
Design.
No.
C.
In verification or validation, which one comes first?
Verification.
Verification. How do you remember that?
E.
With the logging.
Because
the next level.
verification
Just the
is
design.
VE, validation is VA. Right? So if I wanted to see where, and or say the validation is with the VT. R comes in the alphabet, A, B, C, D. Which comes first?
Actually D.
D. I'm trying to make you guys understand this and remember it if you forget. But in here, it's just the reverse. The R comes first.
Oh,
So
I-
verification is
I
first.
got a funny way to put it.
Put it.
Mal
Please.
আছে, mal ঠিক কিনা.
Huh?
It's like on a merchandise, right? Mal পৌঁছাইছে. That's verification. ঠিক মাল কিনা.
That's
That's a
validation.
validation.
Ah, that's true actually. Good. I like it. Let me write a note. The words are interview.
Like my
আনিচ্ছা আমার কাছে গার্বেজ 500 টাকা দিচ্ছে।
It's a verification.
আনিচ্ছা
হ্যাঁ,
আমার কাছে গার্বেজ 500 টাকা দিচ্ছে।
ঠিক আছে।
আচ্ছা এই যে
computer.
500 টাকা কম্পিউটার পাওয়া যায়।
আপনি আমারটা নিবি?
Today Dolan bought one for 400, 8 gigabyte RAM.
Oh my god.
Whoa, that's cheap.
আপনি জানিসের কল করে জানিস
Use one?
These are recorded, you know that? Hey, number 23. Sam, you read it.
Sure. Test imp number 23.
Let's read from here. Let's change.
Okay. Test implementation and execution has which of the following major tasks? A. By developing and preparing test case, creating test data, writing test procedure, and optionally preparing the test harness and writing automate. Isn't 23? Oh yeah. Harness and writing automated test script.
So what does it talk about? Test implementation, right?
Yes.
And execution. That means you are actually not implementing the application, you are actually testing the application, but executing it.
Yes.
Which of the following is a major task? Developing, prioritizing test cases. Which one you should test first? I have a question for you guys. I have answered that before. See if who can answer it. Smart people. Let's say. তোমার নাম্বার আছে আমার কাছে আছে। All right, let me ask you a question. Let's say you have a testing deadline, which is like another 7 days. But you know your testing is going to take more than 2 weeks or 3 weeks period. Which one are you going to test first?
The high priority one.
High priority, high severity.
Okay, those are unfortunately for bugs. But for testing purposes,
The critical ones, those are dependent on the business functionality.
how do you realize that they're critical?
Oh, which one they use most, right?
Exactly, you're on the right track. From a user's point of view, which one user are going to use first or the most? Which one has a user's security issue?
Right.
Like he's putting a login functionality, you know, no one should see it, or he cannot
That's so
log in under
secure
his name. Is not gonna he shouldn't go to
Yeah.
Robin or Zoom or somebody
Right.
else. So security issues. So that number one. So priority is
Most important.
is very important for your testing purpose. So that's why saying that if you're testing and executing, which one should be tested? Which is your major task? Which is prioritizing the test cases. Which one should be testing first? Zuma, did you take the? Were you here when we did the Agile Scrum?
No, man, I missed it.
You missed a very good class. All right. So, and by the way, Robin and Luna. কালকে কলেজ আছে প্লিজ
ওকে ওই আর দুইজন মনে বাকি আছে
who
এই ফাতেমা
Fatima, you have a computer?
Yeah.
And Dolan,
দৌড়ান
these two. You're gonna bring your computer tomorrow? Huh? Next week. Okay, fine. So you're gonna work with somebody else today.
If you wanna buy mine, I'll send you
Good seller.
8 gig.
No, she can work with
I
somebody
just
else.
need the
Don't worry, test this
For my
out.
desktop.
Hey, it's a better option.
Are you bringing your computer tomorrow? Oh, she's bringing her computer. Alright. What were we talking about? Thank you, Shuman. Hey, what were we talking about?
23 about the prioritized test case.
Agile
Developing.
Scrum.
Oh yeah.
In Agile Scrum, what is that? It's a methodology. What do you mean by methodology? It's a format that they use to develop a software. In Agile Scrum, Agile, there are different versions of it. One is
SP. Combine.
no. This is waterfall.
What?
Okay, nobody talks. You tell me the third one. Not a Scrum.
Combine.
Somebody put a can.
Oh, Kanban.
Really? I gave you a hint. Scrum. This one is a big blackboard. They post all the stickies in there. They prioritize the things. Remember that? Huh? They prioritize which one is going to go first. And I put this one is like this. Okay, you can put only one, you know, one here, and then it has one is started, one is done, right? Started, done, started, done, started, done, started, done. So prioritize. You can put one from here. All the priority one goes here, 3 of them, and then out of this you put 3 here, 3 here. Maybe you can put no more than 3. So like that. Okay, so that's like your. You gotta see that video. And I have that. I have new. I give you that. Now for a Scrum, what are we gonna do for a Scrum? How do you explain Scrum? I'm gonna go high level way. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, okay? Because we did it twice actually, so you missed that class. So Agile Scrum. Most important things. I'm gonna ask these people questions. They're gonna answer me. See if you follow me. Who are the 3 most important people in there? All right, Poppy Baby. You raise your hand.
Yeah, product owner.
All right, shut up. Poppy Baby.
Product owner,
Product owner, number 1.
Master.
Scrum Master,
Who's Poppy Baby?
Hey, Poppy will be number to then
Scrum Master,
And he's 220 pounds. Big guy. Okay, Scrum Master. Number 3.
Scrum
Scrum.
Team.
Okay. Who he represents?
the client.
Client.
End user.
No, the owner. He represents the owner of the product. Who ordered the product? These people represents who?
Supervisor.
Supervisor,
This is the supervisor, but
Product owner.
this is the development company he represents. And they also,
Department
did that? Development company, right? Team. Now, who is included in there? Tester, developer, system architect, BA, whoever. Correct? Now, what does product owner do first? He acts as this. He acts as a
Gather the
BA.
team.
So there is no BA in here. He acts as a, what he does, he gathers, product owner does what?
Gathers requirements.
Requirements, and information or something. He gathers requirements. Then after that, what he does, with Scrum Master, he, okay, so requirements when he gathers, what he put it?
The
Backlog.
Scrum board.
Backlog.
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 Product backlog.
Product backlog. product backlog. That's where he put all the requirements. Then what he does with the help of this person, he does
Sprint.
prioritize.
Prioritize.
তারপর ওটাকে sprint backlog.
He prioritized these requirements and he says out of, let's say, 20 different requirements, we can only take 3 for this period of time.